So I'm back from my holidays and it is time to get these tanks stocked with fish. Now before I left, there was a bit of a bacterial bloom and the water was kind of like milky, and I was pretty sure, not certain though, that by the time I got back, it would all be clear, and it's clear. Yay, I love it when stuff goes to plan. The only thing is though, it's been 2 weeks without any sort of trimming or maintenance on the tanks, and they are really overgrown. I want to get them all tidied up before we put in the new fish. So this one has got a lot of floating plants. They've multiplied as I wanted them to do. The stem plants at the back as well are growing right into the foreground, so we can tidy that up. Pretty similar situation on this one, although there's a lot more slower growing plants in this whole section, but it does need sort of thinning out because the boost is getting swallowed. Some of the stems again growing huge, and on this side, and floating plants again obviously. I think this tank looks absolutely lovely. It just needs, again, a trim up of the stems and a replant just to increase the density and bring it down a touch because it's pretty much full already. All the plants on top of the tank doing really well. I just pulled off 3 dodgy leaves. And that's it, the rest is looking perfect. Look at the size of these flower leaves coming off the top of the peace lily. They look so good. Okay, there we go, tank 1 complete. That took real time, I'd say about 20 minutes to get that looking what I consider like a good level now to continue. And I replanted a load of the stems as well, pretty much all of them that I took out. It was actually so many, so I didn't put all of them, but I'd say about 75% went back in, and that's just gonna create that density. The next time I won't replant any though, it'll just be a case of shaping it, if you like, which I don't really like doing because it looks a bit unnatural, but with stem plants, it's kind of a necessary evil. So what fish to add into the first tank? Well, straight away, I already know what's going in that tank. It's some fish that I've had up on the fish wall here for quite a long time. Been desperate to give a new home, but I wanted to be patient and wait for this to be done. And I am talking about these amazing dwarf gourami that we've got here. Now, I was tempted to potentially put them in with the pearl gouramis, but dwarf gouramis can be quite aggressive. I mean, we've got a male and a female there. They get along really great, even in this small space. He's not always doing that to her. It's because I'm up to the tank, so they think there's food coming in. But yeah, they are perfect to go with the harlequin resporas we've got down this tank. I've also got a Siamese algetaner and 2 honey gourami as well. Again, I don't want to risk putting the honeys in with them because they're quite small, and I think they might get attacked, to be honest. I don't want to risk it. But yeah, definitely going to put in all of the harlequins. I've had them with dwarf gouramis before, done really well. And I think we'll put in the harlequins first, just so they can get a little bit settled. Got to catch them all first. Got a nice little carpet of Monte Carlo at the top here. Just swap that out. And then I'm going to get them all in one scoop. You watch this. This is going to be pro level. You ready? In one swoop. Got 1. 2. Oh, there's also another respora, type of respora in there. Can definitely go in. Don't want him on the tank on his own. So there's 2. And I'm gonna have to try this a little bit different with double net. Oh yes, double net actually worked, and I did get them all in one go. Here we go then, harlequins going in. I'm hoping they settle straight away. I've had these for a long time now. I've had them in previous studios, to be honest. Look at that big old boy there, or girl, not sure. There's also, yeah, Aspari, is it? The ones that got like racing stripes as well. So there's a couple of different types there, but yeah, they look really good, especially how the light's coming in on these ones. Look at the colors already. That's the other respora. I'm not sure what type it is, but awesome. So it's been a few minutes and they're already schooling really nicely. Let's get the stars of the show in. Those dwarf gouramis. You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love. Oh, there she is. Now I can potentially see these guys being a little bit shy to start off with. All the temperatures match, guys, so it's okay just to transfer over. Oh, they look so good. So good under that light. They're not shy, they're staying put. They haven't been in a tank with other fish for a while, so I'm hoping they're gonna be chill with the respora. Oh, he's gone over. He's having a little look. Yeah, he's decided. They're not a threat, they're fine, they're just tiny. Not going for them at all. Female is over here. completely fine. I don't want to overstock the tank more than this, to be honest. I mean, maybe at a later date, but for now, I think that's absolutely enough. You've got a feature fish and you've got a schooling fish, and quite often when you've got your tanks, that works really well. Just having the two, of course, depending on the size of the tank or the type of fish, you could have more, but I think the two gouramis, they're comfortable with each other. There's going to be no dramas. I think it's going to be perfect. Hopefully they breed as well. That'd be amazing, because there's a lot of cover back there for them to go and sort of lay eggs. Do they lay? Yeah, they do lay eggs. They're not live bearers, so yeah, they'll lay eggs down the back. I guess scatter. There must be a sort of scatter kind, and maybe we can get some breeding going on. Quite recently, I've been having quite a few new species of fish breeding for me that I've never had before. Like the silver-tip tetras, I've never managed to breed silver-tip tetras that I know of anyway, and now I've got lots more in my other tank. Oh, look, coming right forward now. I can't get over the colours of the male. Look at how beautiful he looks. I mean, the female still does as well, but that blue that's on the male there is just so, so vibrant. It looks amazing. And the harlequins are sort of following around, so we're all good. Oh, looking forward to seeing this all progress. Let's move on to the next tank. So that is that one done. This one only took about 10 minutes actually to get it to where we've got it there. I think that's looking really good. Now this is the tank that's probably got the least amount of swimmable volume, because there is a lot of hardscape in the back section. You can't really go behind it. I'm sure some small fish can. So that is why I'm going to put the pearl gouramis in here. I think they'll look really awesome just sort of standing out against the green only with their orange bellies. They should look amazing. And then with them, I'm thinking next, in the tank next to, look, we've got these, if it can focus, we've got these red tail Respora, a fish I've never kept before. I put them in here just to make sure they're all good. Been in here for quite a while and they're doing brilliantly. So I think they're a nice little school to go in there. They've got a nice vibrant green down the body, and then they've got that sort of red tail on them as well. So they should look really good in there with the pearl gouramis. As before, small fish in first. And I'm not expecting these guys to be shy at all. Expect it to be quite out in the open. Quite understated, I quite like that look. I mean, they're lost a little bit of colour, but that should come back in a minute. The red at the back is normally way more vibrant. I'd say these guys are less of a schooling fish and more of a we'll go wherever we want kind of fish. But the harlequins school way, way better. They tend to stay together quite a lot. And now it's time for the gouramis. Here's the male. The female's just tucked at the back because I've spooked her a bit, but she'll come out in a second. I'm assuming it's a female anyway, because I did have a third, you see, and whilst I was away, I lost one, and this one's got a little bit of a raggedy back tail, which suggests there was some fighting going on. They were fine before I left, but you know, these things can happen when you're away sometimes. But my wife and my dad, who were looking after the place, didn't know what to look for, I guess. I mean, I'm assuming that, obviously, without being here, I've got no idea. And now for the pearls, I've got a feeling they're gonna look absolutely amazing under this light. Oh, they were shy, they're shy. No, just stand back, we can stand back. Found a little cave straight away. Okay, that's the first shy fish, isn't it? There's the male, I'm pretty sure, and the female just ducked into that sort of cave bit behind. So, I mean, that's good. It means that there's a place to get refuge. And when there's a place to get refuge for a fish, they tend to come out more often, especially if they're a shy fish. The female seemed a lot more shy than the male anyway, so we'll give them some time. Okay, so I ran out of time yesterday, and it's now the next day, obviously, and I've come in and look at the tanks. All good. Both of the pearl gouramis are out. And can you see now why I'm thinking this one may be a female? It's like far less coloured, looks more sort of slimline, versus the male up here, or supposed male, a lot more chunky, a lot more brighter. It could just be that it's the dominant male, and maybe you guys can take a better look here and let me know. I'm not an expert on sexing fish by any means, but you see the difference? Could be subdominant and dominant male. They seem to get along all right though, these two. So yeah, all good in that tank. All the harlequins swimming around, and there's the female gourami, dwarf gourami back there. I have seen the male already this morning. I'm sure it'll pop out any second when I'm not filming, obviously. Oh, look at that. Chunky ram's horn just munching on the wood. Good job, buddy. Anyway, now time for the third tank. Now this is the one that's going to take the most amount of time to prep. I'm basically going to cut everything right down and just replant it again so that it's about half the length that it is now. That's going to increase the density like fourfold by the time everything's grown in. Fourfold? Did I make that up? Maybe, I don't know. There we go, we're looking good. Real time, I'd say about 20 minutes to do all of that, which is pretty good for a tank that I've not touched since I set it up, to be honest. So that's like a month, is it? A month? No, not quite. I'd say about 3 weeks and 20 minutes of maintenance. It's looking good again. But what about the fish? So we've got dwarf gourami, we've got another set of gouramis, and some of you might be like, oh, you should have gone for so. I've got them, I wanted them. I've not kept them for a very long time, so that's why I wanted them for there. But in this tank is gonna be a barb tank, and some of you might have guessed that from the barbs floating around, but there's some barbs that I haven't shown you. So these beauties you might have seen before. These are the rosy barbs. There's males and females there, and they are huge, aren't they? Big, big size. I'd say about adults. I'm basing that on nothing, because I've never seen adults, but they are massive, aren't they? And then down in this tank, we've got green barbs and we've got cherry barbs as well. So I just thought they'd all go really nicely together. The tank's plenty big enough, loads of swim room, and it'll be perfect for them. Again, all of these I've not kept before. I've kept a type of cherry barb, but it was like a luminous one, so these are a little bit different. So cherries and greens collected. These were definitely the hardest fish to catch. Seem a little bit more switched on, but oh yes, look at those greens coming out. And the cherry as well. That looks so good. Those greens are really popping coming through. Of course, because they were in those other tanks with a lot of floating plants, I wasn't seeing as much. Oh, they've gone to the back. And they'll be out in a minute. They'll be out in a minute. I hope they will. Not usually a shy fish, are they? But there's, like I said, there's plenty of room in this tank for them all to be able to go around the back, and they can go all through the plants as well. So yeah, they'll be comfortable in a bit. Oh, look, there's a cherry coming forwards now. You gonna come forwards? Come on in. It only takes a couple and the rest will follow, just like sheep. Right, let's get the rosies in. Oh, the rosies were much easier. They basically swam into the net. Whoa, colours. Oh, they are glowing. Like I always say, that's the best thing about transferring from my tanks here straight to the tank. They don't lose hardly any colour at all. I mean, there'll be a little bit of stress, but look at that. They look amazing, and they aren't shy. I think when the others see that they're out, they'll probably start coming forward. Oh yeah, look, we've got a cherry coming forward already. They'll probably make their way around the back, say hello to their new friends. I mean, these kind of barbs are all pretty peaceful. It's not like a tiger barb, so I don't foresee any issues, but just look at the colours on them. The males in particular, they just look like the sun. So it has now been a good few days since we stocked the tanks. Everyone is doing amazing. Look at all the barbs now. All the cherries come into the foreground, they're fine. And every now and again, you see the green barbs and then they shoot back again. They're a little bit more shy, and it could be just getting used to the larger size of the cherry barbs. But they have got some great coloration to them. They tend to stick around in the back area, but I'm absolutely fine with that. Like, you don't see them all the time. They're not in your face like the rosy barbs that are like, look at me, look at me. How could we not look at you? Everything going really good in the gourami tank. You can just see back there, there's the female and the male just tucked behind, I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. They've got their own little spot back there. Seems to be like a little area they go to together as well. So that's another reason makes me think that they're a really good pair. The male doing a little bit of a stare down at the moment, but you know, we'll assume that's part of their mating ritual. What are you gonna do, buddy? What are you gonna do? They're probably look, oh, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, female colours looking even more vivid than before. Not sure why that would be, well, that would explain, maybe it's the breeding. Maybe they're trying to breed in that back section. And if they do, every chance of survival, I would say, because the harlequins are always in the foreground. Pearl gouramis, although not out right now, are doing great. And this is where the big coloured male resides. Hang on, just about to see his face looking at me. He does come out to the foreground, but for the minute, seem to be happy back there. And I'm actually currently working on something quite special whilst this has all been going on. Remember my Amazon puffers? Well, they are currently up here looking fantastic. They're not sick or anything, they've just been moved out their tank because I'm redoing it. I wasn't quite happy with the composition that we had, the space for them. It was just getting smaller and smaller. They're also growing, and I just wanted to do something quite different for them. So it's currently right behind me down there, and it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm going for like a forest sort of style tank where you've got like trees coming up in the foreground and then tapering off in the back. But I've done it in more of a spatial way because I want the fish to be able to swim in and out so we can see them a lot better. This is all to come. This should be coming the next video after this one. If it's done in time. If it's not done, I'm not going to rush it. It's not a case of it has to be out a certain time. When it's ready, it will be ready. Back in the day, I used to be like, the deadline is 2 days, get it done no matter what. But more recently, I've been like, if it takes a few extra, or even if it takes a week extra, you know, that's when I'll be doing it. So yeah, looking forward to that. It's gonna be really cool. Back to the tanks, our male pearl gourami look has come out, well, supposed male, but look at the colors. So vibrant on that like under part. The female gourami's still way more brave than the male one. The male one was out with her then, and as I came to the tank, scooted off, and she was just like, no, not today, buddy. And I just done another trim up on this aquarium, and I'm so sick of trimming it now. I'm probably going to redo this soon, like completely redo it. That rock is going to be a mission. I'm going to need someone to come in and help me get it out, but I could probably use it for, I was thinking using it for the mountainscape, for Malawi Mountain. Yeah, I was thinking of using it for when I redo the tank here, because I want way more rock work. The fish are just getting way bigger, and they need more territories to stop any future disputes. It seems to be absolutely fine at the moment. It doesn't seem to be a problem at all. I mean, there's a little bit of aggression you can see there, but that's just because they're now expecting food, so they get a little bit jostly when you come to the tank. But that other rock would take up most of this aquarium as it does in the other one, so I don't think that's an option. I think the only way of making them, oh look at that. The synodontist. Yeah, I'm gonna need the smaller pieces and build them up in layers, because that way you get all the holes and crevices. Just sticking one big rock in there, it's not really gonna solve the problem because it doesn't create territories, does it? It just divides line of sight. And what I need is caves. Look down here. So this whole section underneath, I just banged the glass. Yeah, they've completely cleared it out down to the sand in there. So it's a full-on sort of cave. And there's one that side that they've done that with, and there's one around the back of the other side. But that's it. There's no other sort of space for them to do it. Saying that, I mean, this one is always in here as well, but the territories are basically taken. And then there's a lot of fish that sort of don't have anywhere. So I want to create tons and tons of areas for caves that are not just on the bottom, but they actually come up into the water as well. It'd be cool to have the rock all coming out the top, like a proper mountain. I think that'll look great. And now I have a greater understanding of how to create tanks without plants and not get an algae fest. I feel like this would be a really good one to do it on as well. So it's that to look forward to. The Malawi Mountain, coming soon. And when I come back from my holidays, Chunks' tank here. Hello, Chunks. It was just an algae fest, not looking good at all. Most of that has cleared up now. There's just a little bit still on some of the wood on the underside of that there. But the rest is all now starting to look good. The glossostigma is growing. That's all fresh growth, which will spread out even further. They've stopped sort of digging everything up now as well. None of the babies survived, but they did get to the point where there was really free swimming and sort of going around the tank. So as soon as they lost the protection from their parents, I'm guessing, well, either Chunks had a nibble at them or the tetras. I mean, red-eyed tetras are quite aggressive, and they're definitely going to swim around and pick off any little fry swimming about, aren't they? And in the last video where I built the pond, a lot of you guys were asking about the rice fish that I was going to put in there. Well, I couldn't put them in because in the UK you're not allowed. It's not a case of like temperature and stuff. You're just not allowed rice fish outside in the UK. So what am I going to do with them? Currently they are in this tank here, which to be fair looks pretty nice. I mean, I just literally plonked that in there from another tank and it settled in a perfect place, and we've got like the pearlweed carpet as well. But that's not where I want to keep them. I want to do an indoor pond for them, but in a tank style, you know? So the pond style tank. So it's got the glass all the way around it so you can see into it, but it's more viewed from sort of top down and with lots coming out the top. I don't know why I'm pointing at this tank. It will not be this tank. Now I still haven't got around to trimming the 8 foot, but that is for good reason. You see all this mess, this terrible mess that I probably should have cleaned up as I went along, but I'll get to that in a minute. I am going to be trimming up this plant and using not quite a lot. Some of the plants in here in the new build that you can maybe, can you see? Yeah, just about see it for the pufferfish. It's nearly done. It's just the stem plants. I always like to fill the tank up and put them in afterwards. So yeah, that's going to get a trim up, but I'm going to be using the trimmings because I don't need to replant like any of the green stuff that I want. I only want to replant the reds over this side. So yeah. Looks good though. And that's because the pea puffer forest is going to be mostly green plants, because you'd expect that in a forest, wouldn't you? So this Micranthemum umbrosum, something like that. It's a great looking sort of small leafed stem plant, and that worked really well in there for detail. Some of the S repens down here as well, I'm going to be trimming that probably halfway down. It will sort of regrow and from those trim points, but I'll have nice fresh ones to go in. There's actually a lot of green rotala at the back there as well, so I want to use those. What I'm basically saying is I haven't trimmed it because I need to trim it and use it. But that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. So yeah, we've got lots and lots to look forward to, and hopefully I'll see you again on the next one.